Go ahead, Paul. You're saying? Wait, we had no audio before? Now we have audio? Oh, no sound? Oh my God. Okay, we now have sound. I'm going to say all that stuff again because it's now obviously important and very, very timely and relevant. Um, so, basically, long story short, is we are trying a bunch of new things to make this smooth and quick and to give you as much information as possible. And part of that is there are technical improvements that should make it easier for you guys to actually get that information. But if something goes wrong, then, we have little hiccups and things like that, which uh, obviously is a thing that happened. So that's what I was saying first. So welcome to the 7th episode of Ahead of the Game. Now, while you guys are here, if you're on YouTube or on Twitter, so on and so forth, do the like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so that you know when we're doing another cool thing, because there's going to be an increasing number of cool things that are going to be happening in the near future. And if you are hanging out and you're in YouTube or in Twitter or wherever it is that you guys are, make sure that you hop into our Discord at galagames.chat. Because there's going to be a ton of stuff that's happening in that Discord here in the very, very near future. So we've got a lot of updates for you guys today. And the whole thing is about, getting ahead of the game, right? So let's dive in. And like I said, I don't know if it was on audio or not. I am watching multiple chats. I've got the YouTube chat up. I've got the Discord chat hanging out over here on this screen. So if I'm over there, it's hanging out in Discord. And yeah, it's there's keeping an eye on everything. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into some updates now. One of the updates that I would like to give is that there's a few various ecosystem pieces that we need to talk about. The first, and this is an important thing, is that on Monday, we are going to be publishing a new write-up that gives you a run-through of a proposal that is going to be coming probably the following Monday for a node governance vote. What this node governance vote does is it is essentially something that introduces the idea of parts of the bonus pool, but distributed across the entire distribution, essentially. And part of that is, essentially streaks for your nodes. So pay attention for that. It's going to be something that I think that almost everybody is really, really, really going to like because it has a bonus points assigned logarithmically, which those of you who are good at the mathing will appreciate exactly how this works. So there is going to be a full write-up on exactly how that works, as well as a nifty, fun distribution calculator spreadsheet that you guys can play with that has, it's I think close to 30,000 lines in it. So those of you who want to crunch numbers and play with things will really appreciate that. The next little ecosystem update is that I promised you guys some news on the social media network that is coming to Gala Chain. That's going to have to wait until Monday. I know I said it was a thing that we wanted to do today, but we decided that Monday was probably a better day for that than today. So that's coming. We've got a bunch of cool stuff that you're going to see in regards to that. So that's being pushed back just a few days. And then the third thing, and this is hyper relevant to everybody who is hanging out in the Gala Gold chat, or actually, you know what? It's more relevant to you guys who are not hanging out in the Gala Gold chat because you really, really should be. Just had a cool meeting that discussed the future of Gala Gold. And in the future, Gala Gold, and this applies to the Gala Games Gold thing. I know that film and music each have their own thing, and this is not necessarily part of that. But Gala Gold will eventually be making a transition from the current model, which is a one-time purchase model that you get it for life, to a subscription model. But everyone who has Gala Gold already gets grandfathered in and gets that lifetime subscription. There's also going to be a rework of how the Gala Gold system works essentially from our side for the developers, where right now one of the things that you guys have noticed is that the number of leaks that come to the Gala Gold community, that typically comes from a few of us who, will go and chase game teams around and, get those leaks. But we're going to restructure some of this so that the game teams are essentially hyper incentivized to provide content to Gala Gold, which means that you guys are going to get the best leaks, and it's going to be driven by engagement from our side, which is the current plan. Things may change, but that's what we're looking at right now. And what that means is that if you're in Gala Gold, you guys are going to be getting the best, coolest, hottest stuff as it comes into the ecosystem. So there should be a lot more information for you there. So, that's that. Now, let's dive into some game updates. So first game update we've got for the day is spider tanks. And we have a few things. There's going to be a 500,000 silk giveaway pool. Oops, I forgot to do that so that I can get my top thing there. Is that working, Paul? Do I still have the over the shoulder? There we go. So basically, we have a few different things. One, there is going to be a 500,000 silk giveaway pool. If you buy or own Gala Gold or win 30 matches between specified dates, you will qualify to receive part of this pool. Distribution will run after the event ends, and the pool is split between all qualifying participants. So that's going to be a cool thing that I think that people will really appreciate. So that's just a little bit more incentive to do that whole Gala Gold thing that we were just talking about. The next part here is that there's two things. The first thing is that there is going to be two different events that are tied to the concept of boosting honor. Now, this is relevant because I want to talk about the second piece. Part of it is going to be a honor boost. Again, if you buy Gala Gold or win 30 matches during a specified date, you will get a boost of 300 points to your honor. The distribution script for this will run weekly during the event. There will also be a limited time event during which whoever wins a match will receive one additional honor during this. Now, the next piece of this is that we're fundamentally revamping how that system works. It's going to be revamped at its core and changed very, very radically. But given the system that is currently in place, these two things apply. And then in the future, I know there have been a lot of people who have been complaining about the concept in general. So there's going to be a lot of changes that happen there. And then there's also going to be a push for new users that ties in with a bunch of other things that we're doing that I can't really talk about here that I'm excited about. Any newly registered account that wins 5 matches will receive a common shotgun weapon and a common scout body. And so they'll be able to do whatever they want with those. And that's something that we believe in. So this is going to be an event that will bring quite a few people in. Okay. Now, moving on from spider tanks to Echoes of Empire. So the first thing is, as you guys know, spend a lot of time in Discord talking to all of you, but I also don't have a ton of time to read all of the other things that go in Discord. So I actually missed this, and given that I missed it, I thought that everybody else, should go ahead and see it as well. So do we have that video queued up for Echoes of Empire, Paul? Hit it. So I thought that was super cool. I was very happy to see that, and hopefully you guys are as well. Now, there's a few other things here. There is going to be a playtest that is coming up here, as well as a whole bunch of UI UX improvements that are going to part of that playtest. And we also have some cool assets to show. You want to run that slideshow, Paul? Okay, so um, yeah, basically these are some different pieces of concept art from the Echoes of Empire team, as well as some ship designs here that are coming up here in just a second. I always dig concept art and ship designs because they really help give a lot of flavor to the game. And this is actually a really good point to talk about how some of these things for concept art are going to be coming to some pretty exclusive Blue Realm type things here in the very near future. We're kicking off some Blue Realm streams, which will happen in Discord, and they're specifically with the teams that are making the art. So if you want an opportunity to really dig in and talk to people who are actually making these games and the art for them, this is the best way to do that. And the way that you get access to those Blue Realm streams is by having one of the Blue Realm tokens, which you guys can find on OpenSea if you'd like. Again, they weren't a thing that we sold, but they were a thing that we know that the community really wants to support. So we are leaning in and delivering on that promise to make sure that there's value there. So those streams will be live only for the Blue Realm members, and then will be published to all of the various channels afterwards. And there'll be a live Q&A component there. And it's going to be focused specifically only on art, not gameplay, not game design, but just the art, what it takes to create the art, and everything that you associate with art in game. So that's that. Now, moving on from Echoes of Empire to, man, there's a lot of game updates here. Champions Arena. Champions Arena has been waiting for the new Champions Arena thing. There we go. Oh, it's gone. And Champions Arena. Okay, Champions Arena is going to be there in a second. We do need a good Paul, bad Paul buttons that people can hit in Discord. So the team for Champions Arena is focused on chain integration, and that is something that they're leaning in very heavily on. Still working on integration, and there will be a bigger update that comes on that. But basically, they're in the process of getting on chain, and that should be moving forward here as soon as possible. I'm super excited because I absolutely freaking loved playing that game. Okay, and then here's for Eternal Paradox. We've got some other cool stuff, and I'm excited about this too. We actually have the dev team took a video of the fight for the rank 1 and rank 2 guilds. We're having a very intense fight for the ring. Let's go ahead and run that because it's kind of cool to watch so you guys can see it. I love watching little armies run back and forth. Okay, and then we have some cool new mercenary work in progress images from the dev team that they're working on right now as well. So let's go ahead and run those so you guys can see some art leaks from Eternal Paradox. This is the Swashbuckler. I think that's what they called her. I could be wrong. Some attacks. The amount of polish on this game is absolutely incredible. I love it. Some art progression and styling there. So yeah, that's some stuff for Eternal Paradox. Now, I know that, again, everyone's looking for information on Mirandus. Now, I don't have a ton I can give you on Mirandus. We've been having some pretty cool meetings on it this week. But I do want to say that the first art stream that we're going to have for the Blue Realm is going to be focused on art for Mirandus. I've been talking to the art team there, and they're going to have some pretty cool stuff. And you guys know that they go in deep on these things. So that should be something that you should look forward to. And hopefully we can have this within the next couple weeks. So pay special attention, and it should be a lot of fun. And get your art-related questions ready, because they're going to definitely love to have some of the interactions with you guys on that. And the final piece of news for games today, I'm probably going to get to a few different things in the Q or the AMA portion of this, but the DragonStrike tourney started today. So get in there, get your heroes ready, bust out the scrolls of minting, and work on your DragonStrike game. I've been playing it like crazy. And it is surprisingly fun and addictive. And I really, really hate that, because I hate the sort of match 3 crystal matchy games. But honestly, it's a lot of fun. So that's what we've got in terms of some of the game updates today. We're going to go ahead and go into an interview with Rex. And you guys probably know Rex from a few different places in the blockchain space. He is a member of our community. He does hang out in our Discord, more of a lurker than a deep engager in many cases, but he's super cool, and he's a pretty good friend of mine. So I wanted to have him on here to talk to us as well. So we'll do that, and then we'll be back for some AMAs in a little bit. Welcome, Rex, to Ahead of the Game. How you doing today, man?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Jason. Excited to be here.
Thanks for, you know what? I figured that I've been on your various things and talked to you a few different times. I ought to bring you on here, and we played video games before. We played video games in person before during COVID, which is not a thing most people can say, right?
I know. Yeah, it was a really fun time. But yeah, thanks for coming on all my stuff. But finally, I have an invite back.
Yeah, dude, you're always welcome. You're always welcome.
Preach.
Well, you've seen Ahead of the Game before. You know how this works. A few different questions, but before we get into that, let's do a little bit of an intro. Like, who are you? Okay. Let's tell the community who you are, what you do, where you do it, why you do it, how you do it, what you want to do in the future.
All right. I think the simplest way is I'm just an absolutely mediocre gamer. And because of that, I decided, hey, if people aren't going to want to watch me play video games because I'm any good at them, maybe I should be somewhat entertaining while I play video games. And then everything else is kind of baked out from there.
What was that game that you and I were playing in the...
It was Overcooked, or it was
something
Xbox
like that.
Game.
We were playing some terrible game, and none of us could figure it out. The three of us sat there completely sucking at this game to the point where it was hilariously awful.
Yeah, it was we were on the show floor. So this was at Permissionless, the first year we did it. It was on the show floor. We had lighting. People were walking up to oh my gosh, who are these really important people? And then we're just sitting there fumbling like a hot dog off the edge of some air balloon game. Yeah.
So bad. It was so bad. It was fun though. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. But yeah, so I got into all of this because I was originally at Blockworks, which is what puts on Permissionless. I was head of sales there. And then it got really boring talking about institutional capital accessing deep DeFi liquidity pools in an SEC compliant way. And so...
That sounds a little tedious.
I know. So I wanted to jump over to the fun folks. It will give me a magical sword. I could go beat people up in the metaverse and one day I'll leave my meatbag self behind, and we'll just be fully digital. Here we go.
What upload? We're waiting for the upload,
I
man.
know.
We're waiting for the upload. I would totally do that. I think I'd make
I would
in
a heartbeat.
I would make a great large language model. Just plug me in, JSON GPT, and we'll just run with it.
Right.
So,
all day. Yeah.
how did you initially find out about Gala Games and what we're doing?
I was actually, you were the first person I talked to at Gala, and it opened all of my eyes to like
all
of my eyes.
Two of them or three of them? The
like,
extra eyes? Okay.
Yeah, the extra eyes. Yeah. See into the ethereal world. But I was trying to see if Gala wanted to sponsor Permissionless, which thank you. You ended up doing that. But I sat down for 30 minutes, and instead of me like talking about what Blockworks was doing in this event and all that kind of stuff, I just like sat there and like listened to you espouse like what Web3 gaming is, and it like I immediately started playing Townstar the next day.
my apologies. I was on a soapbox, I guess.
No, it was good. It was amazing because I had like I was trying to find a reason that NFTs should like work. Like people were like tickets are cool and da da da. But this is the one like use case that like really clicked for me, and so that really turned me down this amazing road. So I played Townstar. I played a lot of it, much to my wife's and my newborn at the time's chagrin, and then ended up competing and doing the May Mayhem. And during that first May Mayhem, I mined the most limestone in the world. One of my crowning achievements. I put it on my resume now.
That belongs on your resume.
Yeah. And that was really my first introduction to Gala. So thank you for that.
Awesome, man. Yeah. We're super happy to have you here. It's been quite an incredible journey. And I remember that first meeting with you. And you know what happens? You know why that is? I hate sales meetings. So if anyone schedules a meeting with me and they're going to pitch me on something, you're going to hear something back. Because I have to at least practice speaking, and so salespeople are who I test that on. So I'm glad that
it worked out well.
I'm glad that you're here. I know I've seen you a few different times popping around the Discord from time to time. And so that's why I wanted to have you on here. Now, you've been around since. So this was before Permissionless. That was like 6 months before Permissionless, which was in that was in early 2022.
Yeah, the only playable game was
2021?
Townstar at the time. Yeah.
Well, but then when we actually had Permissionless, we showed up with spider tanks.
Yes, which was awesome.
Which was great. That was really cool. It was so nice to see a whole crowd of people clustered around playing the game. We brought pizza. That was epic. I ordered like 100 pizzas. And Domino's told me that I couldn't order that many, so I had to order it twice. And then we had to figure out how to get delivery drivers in because they were also selling pizza. They were selling that terrible convention pizza at like $10 a slice in the back, and we rolled in with
really
like 100 pizzas and just gave them to everybody. That was a blast.
Much to my event team's chagrin, but it worked out really, really well, I think.
Hey, the event attendees were happy, and that's what it was all about, man.
That's all that matters, man. Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's what it was all about. So since you've been around here for a while, you know who we are, you know what we do, you know how we do things, you know that we're not perfect. We try really, really hard, but we're not perfect. We don't get all the things right. And given that we don't get all the things right, what are some things that you feel that we could improve upon?
The number one quality of life improvement would be somehow cleaning up the Discord notifications. So
that's my fault. I'm the one that pisses you off, and you're one of those. You're one of those like, oh my god, could you stop please with the notifying me?
Well, it's just hold
on. I have an emphasis button. Okay, I'm going to use it. You can't stop me.
Okay, please.
No.
I can't. No, because I'm a content creator now. Like every game is like, come jump in our Discord and like we'll like show you a good time. So I had to buy Nitro because I kept hitting my max, and then I still have to do like a monthly purge, and so I have like 250 Discord pings whenever I wake up, and the first thing I do whenever I get into any Discord is I immediately mute it.
Right.
Usually Gala is about 1/4 of the notifications just
Really?
from that one. I mean, you guys have been working on it. I've been like getting out of all the different things. I've been working on it, but that would be the number one
Okay.
quality of life. Because the thing
Okay.
is, I feel like I miss, and the main reason that is because right when I started, I wasn't a content creator. The only ecosystem that I was involved in was Gala. And so like I could keep up with all the coolest news, everything that was going on.
Dude, I can't keep up with all this stuff.
I know, yeah. I know. I was like, I knew where to be, what games to play when, where to download whatever, get all the sweet perks. And like now, because it's so flooded a lot of the times, I'm like, I feel like I'm missing the fun stuff where I can like go get a sweet collectible or jump into a game for the first time. That's like.
So let me ask a question then. One of the things that we're thinking of doing right now, and I had a big meeting about this yesterday with Nephilim Haas, who handles all of our community management.
Great guy,
BizDef Dad, and Chair Bandit, about spinning off separate game-specific Discords. So the Gala Games Discord would basically be the main Discord where all of the ecosystem stuff would happen. And then if you were into Spider Tanks, there would be its own separate Spider Tanks Discord. How does that would that be helpful?
Yes. Because then it's like, don't get me wrong, I love playing all the Gala games, but like Spider Tanks for me is one I would pay attention to a lot.
There's other ones that you may not pay as much attention to.
Correct.
It's not your style of game.
Right. Which is the beauty of Gala, right? There's so many games to choose from, but you're still under this one ecosystem, which is nice.
So that's something that we'll probably look at doing in the near future. Hopefully that will be a quality of life improvement for you. I am not going to stop tagging all of Gala Gold. Just so you know, that's going to happen one or two times a day.
That's probably why I get so many. I'm a Gala Gold member. All right, I get a lot of that.
And that's good. That's going to work out really nicely for you here in the near future. There's a bunch of stuff for Gala Gold that nobody knows about just yet. But
the alpha, is that an alpha alert horn?
That's an alpha, but you're on my show. Okay, I do need I need a button. I have one button left on my Stream Deck. I have one air horn button. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Like a confetti falls down in front of the screen. Something.
Well, obviously we need confetti. Why didn't I think of that, Paul? We need confetti. This is an emergency confetti situation.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. Now, that's obviously area to improve. What's something that you feel that we do well?
I think you guys are incredibly good at, you guys and gals. Sorry, it's 2023. Get your shit together, Ryan. Excuse me. Are we allowed to curse? Get your stuff together, Ryan. You can bleep that out.
Okay.
I think you're incredibly quick to take feedback, which is like you started here in this instance, like asking about, like what could we do better is the first question you ask, not like, pat my shoulder and give me, some good feedback first. Which I think is nice, but when things go wrong, I've seen this time and time again in the Gala ecosystem. Every single time, like when cheating becomes a problem, you guys step in, and it's never like, oh, Gala's doing this because like they are this nefarious behind the scenes, whatever. It's always like, no, the 100% of the time, what's best for the gaming community that they have developed over these number of years now always ends up coming out, even if it takes like a little time to get there. That is the one thing I've seen.
Sometimes it takes a hot minute. It takes a lot longer than I want sometimes, but yeah.
And there's a mosquito right in front of me. Oh, got him. All right.
Oh, got him. Good job.
Ninja-like reflexes. All right.
It was graceful too. Yeah. Very graceful.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all the years living in Thailand, just catching mosquitoes wherever we go. But that is one thing that you guys, every single time I see some sort of news or something that comes out about a month or two later, there's like a really good resolution where like, sure, not everyone's over the moon, but like everyone can agree like, okay, you guys made the right choice here.
Yeah. You can't ever make everybody happy. Unfortunately, it's just not a thing.
Right.
So
yeah, but no, you guys do a great job.
Well, awesome, man. I appreciate
all the cheaters in Townstar that one time made my limestone production very, very nice. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was that's you were here for the original Mayhem, which was a hot dumpster fire for part of it.
It was great. I had a great time.
Like I remember this was just a little bit before my daughter was born. We were in the store shopping for a stroller, and it was like a Sunday, and I'm on my phone. Like dealing with fires in Discord. My wife's like, "What do you think of this one?" And I'm like, "That one's great." So we have a stroller that weighs 8 million pounds because I think she's like, well, if you're not going to pay attention, then I'm just going to get the heavy one because you're going to be the one who carries it. So that's what happens.
I ran into the same thing all the time because I think we have one thing that, because you have 2 children, right? I think ours are about like 6 months. I'm about 6 months ahead of you. So 2 kids about 6 months ahead. So I was running into the same thing. I was playing Town Star. My wife was like, what are we going to do about like the child's college education? I was like, I don't know. There's Bitcoin.
Why with the question? Why with the question so early? I don't like she was like 2 months old. My wife's like, where do you think for kindergarten? I'm like, I don't know.
I need her in my life because I wouldn't be asking these questions
right
at the right time.
Right, yeah. Because your daughter would be like 6 and you're like, yeah, I suppose you should probably learn something sometime.
Yeah. Uncle Sam's knocking down my door. Why aren't you going to school yet? What are you doing?
Come on, get it together, kid.
Yeah.
Awesome. So okay, now what is something in the Gala ecosystem that you are excited about or looking forward to?
Yeah, so generally speaking, the ecosystem, I think you guys are Gala is really, really good at, I mean, there's music, there's film, there's games. You guys, it's built on like a really cool tech, right? But you can pull in and deliver all that tech across that kind of content delivery network that you guys are building, which I think is really, really cool. But it gives this, like, I've read this like Medium post a long time ago about content in general, right? And your ability to engage with content as much as you want depends on what type of content consumer you are, right? Movies, you like a nice 2-hour thing. TV shows, you love a 10-episode season. Games, right? You could be 100%er. You could be, I just want to go on easy mode after work. I want to just watch someone else play it on Twitch, right? Or stream or Kick, wherever you do your streaming nowadays. And so with you guys are bringing in the different types of content where an IP that gets developed inside of Gala or an IP that you bring in, you really do let the consumers who are consuming content really engage with it the way that they would like to best. And it can all still be within the ecosystem. And it gives the ability for people to, like, maybe I really like music. Like, I know you guys do this, the Spider Tank, Snoop Dogg, there's like all that kind of stuff. But now I'm like playing this game because I'm a huge fan of the music that I downloaded from the artists that I download. It's just like, there's a really cool...
It's like nice little synergistic.
Yes, it's a flywheel that goes very good. And so it's, I think I'm really excited because when I see like some IP that's coming into the space, Walking Dead, I don't know if there's any that I'm allowed to say that I don't know, like Battlestar Galactica you've announced, things like that. Those types of things, I'm really excited because these are IPs that I've been following for a very long time, but now people can experience things in different ways and maybe explore the Gala ecosystem or games in a new way because they came in, they loved the show. Now they want to play the game. Now they'll go find other games. And it just really, I don't know, it helps build the whole content ecosystem.
That's the thing is you want to create an ecosystem where people can go from one portal to another, constantly finding stuff that they like. Because the more that they can stay inside that content loop, the better it is for the ecosystem, the better it is for them because their discovery is going to be better and more tuned to something that they actually like. And, it keeps that entire ecosystem growing. And the idea is in the long term is that each of these steps also has opportunities for them to bring friends along with them to experience that journey with them, which is a big thing that we're leaning into with gaming and also with film and music and whatnot. But that's basically the way that we look at it.
It's cool though, and I really like that because it kind of breaks down the barriers of like you're a video gamer or you're like a movie buff or what have you. Now you can experience it, almost like IP is more important than like the type of media that is getting like put out. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. So like I know we're on the early horizon because like there's only so much that is coming out at one time or whatever. But like I can imagine a future where like I'm in my Battlestar Galactica ship on my Apple whatever these visors are, and then like looking around, watching a movie of like Snoop Dogg and created like I just the Ready Player One
that's
stuff.
like the Ready Player One metaverse dream, right?
Yeah.
You know, I actually reread Ready Player One not that long
More
ago,
recently,
and
nice.
yeah, a couple weeks ago, and it was really interesting to me because I had read it before the whole
Metaverse, yeah,
metaverse thing started,
yeah.
right? And it was really interesting to kind of dig into some of those philosophical concepts and what it means and what a fully
Mm.
extensible permissionless world looks like. So that's definitely still something that I'm excited about. Although it's going to be very difficult to get it to be Ready Player One style
Yeah.
because of those IP laws. But yeah,
Nah, it's all right. Right now, all I'm excited about is I know Champions Ascension's coming up, those types of things. So I'm just excited to play a lot more games in the ecosystem, see
yeah,
how they kind of all interlay, see how they can all
yeah.
live on their
Champions
own as
Arena.
well.
That's
Which a Champions Arena, that's what I meant. I was talking to Peyton earlier today, so that's why I had Champions Ascension in my mind. Classic. Too many games in Web3.
happens,
Yeah.
man. It happens.
Yeah.
Um, well, awesome, Rex. Thanks for showing up and chatting with
Thanks for
us, and
having me.
look forward to
Excited.
seeing you in Discord, and
I
we'll go from there,
know.
man.
Around the bend. All right.
Peace out, man. Have a great day. Okay, guys. So again, huge shout out to Rex. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it, man. And now we're going to dig into the part. We got about 20 minutes, which I think is pretty solid. We're going to dig into the part that everybody is the most excited about, answering questions that you guys have asked. But before I jump into that, I'm going to deal with NFT Chuck really quick for a second. How you doing, NFT Chuck? Okay, so I'm going to speak directly to you. I give you guys updates on everything I can give you guys updates on. Now, I recognize that there are games that you're interested in that I'm not talking about. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't updates. It just means that I can't give you those updates for whatever reason at this point in time. Sometimes that means that there's a contract conversation that's going on that makes it so that we're not supposed to give updates. Sometimes we're in a situation where there is specific terms in the contract itself that prevent us from giving updates that haven't been signed off. This is a thing that happens a lot of time with art and images and whatnot. Sometimes it means that there's a development that's going on that they just don't feel like sharing at that point in time. Different teams have varying degrees of comfortability with the kind of Web3, how the sausage is made ethos. There are some teams that are very willing to give updates pretty constantly so that you can always see what's going on. And then there are other teams that are a little bit playing it a little bit more close to the chest, and sometimes a little bit more of almost a Web2 fashion where you'll see it when they're ready for you to see it. So doing everything I can to get you guys the news. But just because you're not seeing news about a specific thing doesn't mean that there isn't news about that thing. It just means that I can't necessarily give it to you. I also don't run down the list of every single thing that we've ever talked about and give news on all of it, because then the show would be like 16 hours long. And there would be nothing to talk about now. Or not nothing to talk about. I would have no other time to do anything else in my day. So without further ado, let's head directly to the AMA portion of things. So during the AMA, there's a few things. For starters, if you would like to, you can scan this QR code or go to links.gala.com/AOTG to ask questions. These questions may not get answered, but I am going to go through them. I've gone through the ones just before the show that are submitted, and I selected 10. We're going to go through as many of those as possible, and then sometimes I will take stuff. I will take stuff from the Discord or from the YouTube chat, which is again over there. Yeah, so there's a few different bits and pieces there. Now I'm going to, before I dive into the individual questions, I'm going to answer a question for Arthur right now in the YouTube chat. There is actually a way for you to download your account history if you go into your account. We soft launched that feature a few weeks ago, and we haven't done a big, any sort of promo around it. But you can actually go download your account history with all of your transactions if you would like. It's your responsibility to make sure that those transactions are all accurate and things, but it is all data that is pulled directly from chain. But if the indexer has a hiccup and something gets missed, obviously, we don't want that. But go check it out. It is a soft launched feature, so have fun with that. Okay, and so yeah, if you would like to, you can again download the QR code. Somebody asked for this to stay on screen the entire time, so there it is on screen, and there is the actual link if you would like. And without further ado, let's jump into it and answer the first question. Are there any updates on gems? When can we expect to see Gala burnt 2 gems? That actually already happened. That happened May 15th when we burnt 21.9 billion Gala, including 2 billion Gala that was what we had committed to burn in the roadmap document we had initially released towards the beginning of the year. So that has already been done. Not going to spend a lot of time talking about it, but just wanted to let you guys know that that was a thing. The second question that I pulled out here, and these are in no particular order. It's not, what was upvoted, what was not upvoted. It was just questions that I thought that were solid questions that people wanted answers to. In Spider Tanks, will there be any changes to game modes and match types? For example, a new game mode of control or the removal of the Chicken Chaser. I love the Chicken Chaser. The Chicken Chaser is excellent. But yes, there are going to be a bunch of new game modes that were, well, I don't know about a bunch. There are new game modes that are coming, and there are quite a few updates coming. We work very closely with the game media team, and there's some very, very cool updates that are coming, and I think that you guys can see from some of the news that we released earlier in this session about Spider Tanks, that there's definitely some things that are coming to the game. So expect to see new people in there. There's a bunch of other really cool activations that we have coming up in the fairly near future, including some cool stuff in the Philippines and some cool stuff in other places, and places that maybe are meccas of video game geek culture and cosplay. You guys can figure out where that might be, but there's some cool stuff coming, and Spider Tanks is part of all of that, so watch out for that. And the third question is, what if the community gets the Fuzzle IP? What options are there potentially for Fuzzle, and what do you think of the team working on it now? So to be very clear, I always liked the team working on Fuzzle, and the team in the community that's working on Fuzzle right now are super, super cool, and I appreciate their initiative and their push in the community to do something cool for the project. I know that one place that Fuzzles will probably have a degree of utility, because they have a very active community, is probably as potential co-pilots in Spider Tanks. I'm saying potential there so that I can put some wiggle room around that for you guys at Game Media who don't want me to announce that this is a thing, but that's going to be a potential thing that you can see in the future, which should be potentially fun. And yeah, I love Fuzzles. I've got a bunch of Fuzzles. They're super cool, and I think that they're freaking adorable. So I hope to see more from that. Fourth question of the day is, are founders nodes still getting NFT drop allocations whenever a new NFT is launched? What NFTs are excluded from this? So generally speaking, with a few exceptions, yes, there are allocations that are going to founders nodes. One note, though, is that if they are an NFT that is originally minted on Geary, like the Gen 2 tanks and things like that, they have not gone out to the nodes yet because of the way that the treasure chest and Geary and stuff works. Not Geary, Gala Chain. What am I thinking? Gala Chain. But there is an allocation that has been set aside. And so at some point in the future, all of that will go out to the founders nodes, and it will probably be one big, gigantic, epic drop day that I think all of the founders nodes will be very happy about. So yeah, pay special attention to that. The next part of the question, what NFTs are excluded from this? Occasionally something like, for example, the Mother's Blood and whatnot from the Mirandus event, where it was a very, very tightly limited thing that was specifically tied to an in-game action. Those are not included because essentially it's just a very, very unique item that you have to be able to get only in game. That's the exception to that. Okay, fourth question. And by the way, comments. Do you guys like the sliding in and sliding out? Is this better? Make it a little smoother, make it able for us to go through questions faster. I'm hoping it does. I dig it. So yeah. Will there be a DEX for Gala Chain to swap between different tokens? In all likelihood, yes. But key word here, DEX. DEX is a decentralized exchange, which means that it is not operated just by one entity, which means that it's not something that we ourselves control or are building. Okay. I am aware that there is a team that is working on some stuff that is related to marketplaces of various things that we are working with, that we're getting documentation and whatnot. So in all likelihood, yeah, there will probably be some sort of DEX, but it will probably not be a thing that is run completely by us, because again, it will be decentralized. And Smiling Monster, thank you. I'm glad you like the transitions. I really tried to make this nice for everybody, so that it's easier for us to get through more questions and hit you guys with more content. Okay, here we go. Question 6. Talked previously about removing spider tanks from behind the Gala launcher. Is that something that might happen sooner or later? Depending on your definition of sooner or later, which those are both very, very bendy words. I would personally tend towards sooner. We know that there's a significant friction that is introduced by the launcher that makes essentially the process of getting a new user into spider tanks definitely suboptimal. So that's a big thing that we're focusing on knocking out of the way, because we don't want it to be a block to anyone. We want it to be something that is as easy as any other game out there to come in and start playing. The model that essentially we're looking at here is how quickly can you download DragonStrike and get into DragonStrike? How quickly can you start playing? That's the type of lack of friction that we want. And we're putting a lot of work specifically into that. Okay, the 7th question is, if I wanted to buy more than 100 Last Expedition nodes for a gaming network cafe, is that possible under one account to run across many PCs? Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a thing that can be done. And if you were interested in purchasing that number of licenses in bulk, then I would encourage you to reach out to us directly, via Discord, or to submit a support ticket. And that's potentially something that we can help do, if you wanted to buy a package of nodes or something like that. I'm sure that there's a way that we could work that out and make it smoother for you. Okay, question 8. How do I know if an exchange buys or sells Gala? And this is a great question that came from Subspace, and he just happened to ask it this morning while I was working on getting all of these buttons configured. So if you go to CoinGecko CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap and click on markets, that will show you all of the different exchanges that have Gala on them. Is mostly lists the decentralized exchanges as well, but you can look at the exchanges, their volume, and then go and look at the various ratings of those exchanges. I think CoinGecko tops out at 100 different exchanges, which we have reached, which is kind of a cool thing, but you can go ahead and take a look at that, and that will give you your answer. And there is Doug dropping that in the Gala Gold chat. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. Okay, and when we'll be able to receive the results of the Spider Tanks activity, where we filmed content and shared it to social media. I was just meeting with Chair Bandit and BizDev Dad about that the other day. That should be something very soon, and in fact, you'll probably see us do a little bit more of that, leaning into the concept a bit. I think it's cool. I love seeing the content out there. And there's going to be much more content as we go forward with this. So you're going to probably see more of that. And the 10th question that I've got, and this is all I have buttons for. So after this, we're going to take them live. Win Spider Tank's lore. Spider Tank's lore is definitely going to be something that you are going to see probably within, fingers crossed, within the next month. There's always been a lot of Spider Tank's lore. It just hasn't really been released to the world. But there's definitely sort of the story behind what you guys see, and that's going to be something that's going to be super cool for everyone to have an opportunity to explore. So I think that that's going to be something that people are super excited about. Now, what I'm going to do is typically I would have been like highlighting questions, but I think the easiest way to do this is to just go back to the normal view here and dive into questions just verbally with people. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit the question link really quick, and we'll go ahead and look at what people have submitted. Now, we had a couple different Meat Pulse links actually that we needed to use because the first one exceeded its numbers. So the most recent one is going to be the Q&A. Okay, so there's always some good things here, and I'm going to hit a few of these really quickly. How to integrate content creators with Gala. So we see content creators as a hugely important part of the ecosystem, and we like to lean in and help content creators as much as possible. I do this by, I'm always willing to go on to talk to people. If there's somebody who wants to do an interview, wants to have a conversation about things, I'm usually willing to do that. And I've done that in person. I've done that, via Zoom like this. I'm often willing to hop in and talk to people. We also want to see content creators, and this is a thing that we're doing in a few different ways, on platforms like Twitch, where we are experimenting with sponsoring subs for people to help content creators build their network, to get more people watching the games that people are playing. One of the interesting challenges, and we had a big conversation in Gala Gold about this today, is onboarding Web 2 users into this Web 3 space. And part of that is just getting visibility. It's very hard to be a Web 3 game and to bring in that Web 2 audience. And part of that is reaching out to them and using content creators. So we're very willing to work with content creators in a variety of ways. In fact, we even have in our Discord a channel for content creators. So if you're making content, you can request a moderator to give you access to that channel. And from there, you will be able to post things and other people will be able to see it. And let's see. Guesstimate to me in terms of Gala Games NFT sales, how many Gala tokens approximately was received from January 2022 to January 2023? I don't actually know that number, but what I do know is all of those tokens were burned on May 15th. So it almost doesn't matter. I think the total number of, I want to say something like 5.1 billion, or no, is that not quite right? 3.1 billion, I think, was the exact number. There's a blog post about the burn, so you guys can check that out. Will I be doing the Vox Chicken Challenge? Yes, actually, Paul, do you have the thing? Run the thing if you have the thing. 5 seconds. Paul will run the thing in 5 seconds. So I got called out by the Vox team on Twitter today. As you guys know, there was a Henna Vox chicken that was created. I felt that I needed a chicken too. So there is apparently a BitBender chicken that has been created. Now, the thing with the Vox team is apparently they're not just going to give me a BitBender chicken. I have to compete with all of you in the community to potentially get this. So make sure that you go and follow the the Voxverse Twitter, and then participate in this, and also join their Discord, because they're probably going to make me do some ridiculous stuff to maybe get this chicken. And if I don't get it, if you guys are able to beat me, which is very likely, it is horrendously, astonishingly likely. If it's a test of video game prowess, I'm screwed. If it's shaving my beard, I'm screwed. And if it's anything that requires actual physical agility, I'm screwed. So there's really a lot of things I can't do very well. If that is the case, then you guys will have potentially a I think it's one of one. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's a one of one BitBender chicken in a shiny gold cartridge there. So yeah. When will a public API be available for community members to build applications on Gala Chain? A data API is, you can actually pull data right now from the Explorer. I know there are a few people that are doing that right now, and building some cool stuff. In terms of building on the chain itself, I would like to see that, hopefully, fingers crossed, sometime this quarter. I would like this to be as open as possible. Because I think that's a really important thing. So yeah, that's hopefully over the next quarter, I guess, is the point there. Okay, let's see here. Now pulling some questions from Gold, because I pulled a bunch from here. Okay. Some people need access to content creator channels. Smiling Monsters links. For spider tanks, can we find out what the attrition rate is instead of the DAU? How many try the game, then leave versus stay? That number would be meaningful. Okay, here. I actually have a really useful statistic. It's not the number that you're wanting, but it is a useful number, and it's the reason that we are really working very hard on getting the game out from behind the launcher. So one of the reasons we haven't been doing massive heavy UA, because people have been asking about that, why haven't we been doing heavy UA on spider tanks, is because the onboarding friction process of having to go to the website, download the launcher, go back to the website, download the game, go back to the website, launch the game, horrid. Massive drop off. Almost about 90% of users brought in via UA did not make it through that journey. So that's a significant number. And so people have been asking, why haven't you been doing all of this UA? Because doing UA with that kind of drop off because of that high friction in onboarding, on top of the other Web3 friction, terrible. So that's a thing that is changing, and it is changing quickly. So that's a number that I think people will be happy to know is going to be going away pretty soon. With the Smiling Monster asks about the Gala Gold subscription model. Previously, I had an idea about there being some sort of credit system. That never made it past the idea phase. The important thing here is that the Gala Gold subscription model is going to be something that is really good for everybody, and extra good for those of you who are already members of Gala Gold, because you'll definitely want to be a member of Gala Gold, because if you're a member of Gala Gold now, that stays. There is no subscription model that gets applied to you for the benefits that you currently enjoy. There may be other things where you would, like, if there was an extra, certain amount of soft currency in a game, for example, that would come as part of a subscription package, then you would probably be getting a significant discount on that. But the benefits that you already enjoy right now, those stay, and that's a super important thing. MJ Crypto Wiz asks, when can we expect nodes to become NFTs, if ever? Hoping for this quarter as well. That's kind of the plan. We definitely want to have people have the ability to take their nodes wherever they want. This is extra important given some of the things that are coming in that proposal on Monday. So you will see that soon. Okay, let's see here. And yeah, Tweety, 8-bit tendies. Yeah, that's exactly the emotion that I feel there. And also shout out to the guy who made me this. I will be posting links to it on my Twitter here before too terribly long. It's a nice little necklace. I appreciate it. Okay. Till when can people buy lifetime Gala Gold? Don't know. That's going to, when we make that switch, it's just going to happen. We're probably not going to do a huge amount of ramp up on it. Okay, guys. So I think I'm actually overtime right now. So that's what we've got time for today. I will be in the Gala Gold chat for a little bit. I want to thank you all for dropping in today. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Now, I have been assured, I have been promised by 3 game teams that you guys are asking questions about that there will be updates next week. I'm not going to tell you which ones, but there should be, fingers crossed, updates on 3 of those games you guys have been going nuts about. At which point in time, I have to use this button because I made it. At which time we could all celebrate with confetti, and it would be super cool. Rex gave me that idea. I had to make it happen. So thank you, Rex, for coming on, and thank you all for listening and watching, and share with your friends. And again, like and subscribe and hit notifications for future updates. And I will see you guys all on the flip side. Peace, BitBender.